What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Best Dad Podcast. Hey, send us some money so we can get the little soundboard.
Send us some money. Send us some money.
You know, at some point we won't have to do that with our mouths. You know, we'll actually have a soundboard to do it. But until then,
you
know, that's
and don't worry about we got the same clothes on. Mind your business.
Yeah, mind your business. You know,
we had to listen. We dads. We got to figure this thing out. We about to do all of these switching outfits. We got kids.
Yeah, we got.
Well,
kids.
I got a child.
Yeah, for real. Hey, just imagine my shirt black in this episode.
Yeah,
that's
imagine mine blue. Whatever. We good to go.
But I'm EJ McDuffie.
And I'm Arlington Scott, the man with the voice.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. So, hey, we're going to jump right into this episode.
It's time to get to it.
Yeah, it is.
I know y'all tired of me talking. Y'all got to hear my dog. Y'all got to hear my dog now. He real corporate sometimes. That's why we got to let him lead. You know what I'm saying? Because this train will go way on the track and let me run it.
So we're gonna jump right into it. You know, if you haven't, for whatever reason, I always gotta say it like this.
Yeah.
If you hadn't listened to the first 3-4 episodes of this show, then you just need to go on back and start from the beginning.
Just go back right now, because this is gonna build into every episode. You need to know what happened in the first couple of them to get here.
Exactly, because this may seem like out of context for you. So just pause this one, go back 2-3 episodes.
Yeah.
So
make sure you subscribe and all of those things. Set your reminders.
Absolutely.
So you know when it comes on.
Absolutely.
We're gonna drop it every.
Once a week at least.
Once a week. We got new babies.
Yeah, I'm about to say
give us grace until we start.
The date might change, but at least you can expect something from us about once a week.
Once a week, for sure.
Once a week. All right, cool. As my homie would say, all the pleasantries are out of the way now. Now we can just get right into the episode.
Yeah.
So for y'all who don't know, I'm a co-parent.
Yes.
And old time folks would say stepdaddy or stepmama or things like that. I'm not the step in this particular situation. I guess my wife would be a stepmom.
Yeah.
But we like to use the term bonus mom. So anyway, I was sharing with Arlington one day, and I don't know if this was recorded or not. I think it was recorded, but I was just sharing that we have two different experiences in this whole co-parenting world. And so again, I co-parent a 15-year-old daughter with a young lady. I guess she's a woman with a woman.
Hey, listen, don't you bring no smoke over here.
Yeah. Right. From a woman before I got married to my current wife. And so I had a kid at 20. It was all right. It was my sophomore year of college, and I was 20 years old. I was shaking in my boots. The things that Arlington said in that first episode, that was me. I was nervous. I was anxious.
At 20 is crazy.
Yeah, I was.
Like, bro, at 20, I was just waking up hungover during the week. I'm doing stuff like that.
It was wild. I like to tell people that I had to grow up really fast and become an adult really fast because I had to provide in a way that most 20-year-olds don't have to do.
Right. Not even thinking about it.
Yeah, they don't have to think about it.
I was definitely having broke college fund.
Yeah, and I ain't blaming nobody but myself. It was me. I couldn't control myself.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely like, you know what I'm saying, you get out the house, you by yourself.
Yeah.
Mama can't tell me nothing.
No.
Daddy ain't gonna say nothing. I'm out here. Like,
I was
I'm gonna do what I want to do.
I was having fun.
Yeah.
Y'all. You know what I'm saying? North Carolina A&T don't owe me nothing.
Hey, listen, they don't owe me nothing either. I ain't went there, but I came out there a couple of weekends. I was supposed to pick my little cousin up one. I stayed.
You just ended up staying.
I stayed. I like it here.
Yeah, for real. So A&T don't owe me anything. But with that being said, I had to grow up really fast and get thrown into, I shouldn't say thrown, that's like maybe a bad choice of words, but I was inserting myself into a situation that most folks don't do until they're much more settled in life, But anyway, that's my early part of the story. But Arlington was I guess
I grew up with a co-parenting situation.
Yeah, there we go. We go.
If you don't know, the topic pretty much about this one is co-parenting.
Yeah.
But for me, like being able to see my mom and dad kind of co-parent the way that they did, and just kind of navigate through this whole life with two boys and my mom and dad kind of they were 22 miles away.
The fact that you know that.
Knew it. And I remember it all the time. One is because of my dad. I'm guessing that's why my dad did it with us for our baby.
He just told you that.
Because he did it then, like he did it back then too, and told us, like, I'm 22 miles away. Y'all can always get to me.
Yeah.
So it was always a thing. But like, see, I saw it growing up, and then you're actually doing it.
Yeah.
So definitely wanted to have this conversation because I haven't been around men that actually talk about their co-parent situation outside of the regular old man. I don't care, bro. Like she do.
Yeah, she do what she want. If I see the kid, I see her.
Yeah, I ain't. Yeah, I don't want to talk to you. Hey, anybody talking bad about that situation like you wasn't in it too?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
I don't want none of that.
Yeah, I ain't want nothing to do with that. I don't want to hear no advice, no stories, no none of that. I'm good. I'm good.
I think we shared this too. We're just starting the conversation here, y'all. You know, we ain't experts. We just giving y'all our experience and what it was like. I'm still in it. I mean, technically, you still in it too. You're just an adult, but you still,
and it's different now being an adult in it too.
Yeah, you still in it,
learning a lot more stuff.
Yeah,
asking more questions.
Yeah,
it's like, yo, hold on. Wow, like I ain't know it was like it, but of course, as a kid, they kind of just
they kind of keep you
stay in child's place.
Yeah, you don't need to know all of that.
Don't worry about it. It's
you don't need to know all of that.
But I did have some questions because of a statement that you made on the second episode that we did when you were talking about like when you were talking about navigating through those different relationships with your wife, with your daughter, and then with the co-parents.
Yes.
So it's a lot right now.
Let's jump into it.
It's a lot because you are co-parenting a 15-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And in this time, we know a lot of things are crazy. They're exposed to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
15-year-old now in 2024 is probably a lot different than 15-year-old when you were 15.
Yeah.
Like, so for you, what are some of the things that you deal with now with parenting, with co-parenting a 15-year-old in 2024? I know it's a very deep, loaded question because it's a lot.
How much time we got, y'all?
We got 30 minutes.
I was going to ask me. That was a real loaded question.
Yeah, but in 2024, how are you co-parenting your 15-year-old daughter?
So the first thing that comes to mind, I guess I'll start with the relationships piece. So my wife, my daughter, and the co-parent. So for my wife, me and my wife have been together 10 years. So that means she's known my daughter since she was 5.
Yeah.
And so she's been around for a while.
Long, healthy relationships.
Yeah, for real. And so from the beginning, she knew what it was. And I'm not saying that, y'all, to be disrespectful. I know that sometimes people say, you know what it is. But I'm saying she knew that I had a daughter and that I am a present father. I want to be there as much as I can. And what that means for the household, I may, have to go away on nights and meet the other co-parent to pick up my daughter, or I may have to send money outside of what I'm already doing. Right. I may have to make some sacrifices that affect the house because I need to also be a father to my daughter. Yeah. And so that's one aspect, just one aspect of that. And even to the point, because I think a lot of times for me at least, I'll speak for myself, my wife also helps with like extra groceries when my daughter comes and any other things that she need. I remember when she first came of age and got her cycle, my wife was there to help get those type of products and things that you need. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I grew up with 2 brothers.
Yeah, listen, man. Boy, talk about the relief off of my body right now. Jazz got to be here. Yeah, Jazz got to be here for our daughter because I ain't know that about that.
Exactly, I don't know what to do.
I'm a panic. I'm gonna tell you, I already know it.
I have no idea what to do. So just little things.
Being 20 and having young.
But younger, yeah. So with that, I remember this was 2015. And this was the first summer that my daughter came and stayed with me and my wife for like an extended period of time. It was probably like a month or something. But there's just so many stories going on about Arlington. So the co-parent allowed my daughter to like have a tablet at that time, and it had like Wi-Fi. And I don't think it had like an actual cell phone, but it had Wi-Fi. And so I would go to work. Again, this is my wife. I'm telling it from her perspective. This is my wife helping me out in the summer by still allowing me to go to work.
Yeah.
But also taking care, because at that time me and my wife didn't have kids together.
Yeah.
So she was taking care of my daughter while I would go to work during the summer, and my daughter would call her mom and be saying things that weren't true, but you know how kids are, like, oh, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm bored and I'm not doing anything and daddy's not here and all of that type of stuff. And so that caused my wife to get upset. She was like, I'm trying, EJ. Like, I'm here. I've planned stuff, and she don't want to do nothing. And again, this was 10 years ago or 9 years ago. So this is like a 28-year-old versus a 5-year-old.
Right.
But now my daughter's mom is calling me like, well, this is what your daughter's saying, and this is what's going on. And so just being in the middle of all of that, I think that's where, when I say I'm trying to manage all the relationships, it's 10 times better now. I will say that.
It took some time.
Yeah, it did take some time. And I always tell people, for some people, it's not going to get better. I just want to be honest with you.
Thank you. Keep it honest.
For some people, it's never going to get better. It's always going to be some drama. But in my particular situation, the relationship between my wife and my daughter, they have their own relationship. They talk without me. I don't need to be in like a group chat or anything like that. So that's good. You know what I'm saying? They good. For me, the co-parent and myself, I just try to just keep it at bay.
Yeah.
Like, and I tell her all the time, I just be honest with her. I say, this is what I want to do with our daughter. If you want her to do that, cool, we can do it. If you disagree, then I'll let you tell our daughter why she can't do it or why certain things happen. Because I always tell her, I said, you're not about to get me all upset and get me all, you know, what I say in my house is get me off my square and cause me to get out of character and to do things that I don't normally do. So I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to, you know, do any of those things because that's just not who I mean, I've done them all before, but I'm
learning through it.
Yeah, I've gotten a place in our relationship now where if you want to do certain things, that's fine. Our daughter's 15. She's an intelligent young lady, so she can also form her own opinions of what's going on. Like she don't need her mom to try to paint me in a light that says, oh, your dad is this, your dad is that, because she knows now, like, well, you know, I wanted to go and you said no, or I wanted to do this and you said no, or any of those types of situations. Be open
communication. And I guess what I'm taking from it is you're making sure like there's open communication with everything. Yeah. One, with your daughter, and she knows like who said what and who this is coming from, but also you being there and communicating with her, and then communicating with your wife now and her communicating how she felt in situations too. Because I think a lot of times I've definitely had friends that have talked to me about like, well, they child don't like me and such and such. I'm like, you might go tell him that. You might go tell him how they feel about it. When I don't just, like, I literally had a DM about like, I don't know if this gonna work because they child don't like me and I'm trying to do stuff with them, but it's like he keep putting them on me and such. And I think it was like a situation where she was in a situation that she didn't know she would be in. Yeah. Versus him having the conversation with like how y'all might have done when you're needing to go to work and her being there with the kids and things like that. Some people might not agree to that.
Nah, they don't. Cause you think so this is gonna sound bad, y'all. This is gonna be the one broadcast thing I'm gonna say. Before I had kids, I was not dating a woman that had outside kids. You had a kid? Oh, okay. Hey, you cute as all get out, but I can't mess with you. Yeah. I'm not about to do.
And mine was like, my limit is 2. My limit is 2. So if you get 2, I ain't as a rep. And I didn't want one. My brother was against it. Like when I dated a girl with a kid, my brother was like, hey, boy, get out of that relationship.
Yeah, that's me. I'm like, bro, no, I ain't doing it. I ain't about to be the stepdaddy to nobody else's kids. And I still kind of believe that, but I know it's talking out both sides.
I ain't date nobody with no kids. Jasmine ain't had no kids. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Now she got one. It is what it is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that was my stance. But I always say this, like, your spouse or your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, they don't have to put up with that. Like, if that's a boundary for them, you can't be mad at them because they say, "Oh, I didn't know you had a kid. You hid it from me. We've been dating for a year. Now all of a sudden, you're gonna tell me you got a 5-year-old." Well, I'm out.
I think that's so I think we need to get rid of this. I mean, you can have the thought of we a package deal.
Yeah,
you can have it, but
that.
you also need to be okay if somebody say, "I don't want that package."
I don't want that package. I have the right to refuse what you're offering me. And so
it's perfectly fine. You got a kid.
Yeah,
I just don't want
exactly. And so I was up front from the beginning, and I told Nike again. I mean, I didn't give y'all the backstory because this ain't a marriage podcast. No. But yeah, so I've known Nakia for a while, so she's always known I had a kid from the beginning, even before we started dating or whatever. But yeah, I just told her, I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, even to the point where we live matters. Like, I never want to be too far away from Reagan. So like, I won't, in this current state, like, I'm not about to move to Seattle, Washington. And only see my daughter once a year. That's just not what I want to do. Like, there's other parents who are cool with that and they'll do whatever they need to do. But for me, like, I'm not gonna move halfway across the country and see my daughter once or twice a year and be cool with that.
And I just think that's a noble thing to do because you want to be present in front of your child.
Yeah,
and don't like it. We're not trying to use technology to be raising no kids out here. FaceTiming a kid is not the same thing as being around your child. You got to
be present.
So, like, being present around them and being able to talk to them when something is happening.
Yeah.
I think in my co-parenting situation, I feel like that's something that I missed with. And, of course, they wasn't far apart.
Yeah.
But it takes time. By the time you get to me, I probably ain't got the question on mama kid. So much stuff happening. My mind bounces all the time right now as an adult. So I can so imagine how it was when I was little. Yeah. I felt something. I wanted to talk about it. You wasn't right there.
Yeah.
And now I got to either wait to call you or wait on you to have time to drive to me.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. And
I'm done with it by then.
And I think that's my struggle. So 4 years ago, before we moved to Charlotte, the plan was to move to Raleigh because that's where my daughter is.
Gotcha.
And so I asked her, though. I had the conversation. So at that time, she was like 12, or I guess it was 3 years ago. I lied. This was 3 years ago. We've only been here 3 years. So she was 12. And I said, hey, baby, we're going to move back to North Carolina because we had moved to Virginia, whatever. That's a whole other story. Yeah, but I was like, we're going to move back. And would you want me to be like in Raleigh? She was like, no, I don't think I need you that close. I was like, oh,
how did that make you feel?
I was like, oh, okay, all right. I'm like, you sure? Like, because honestly, we've never lived.
Were you expecting a yes?
I thought she was gonna say yeah. I really did. I thought she was like, oh, no, that's daddy, that's cool. That would be so cool. But she was like, no, I don't want you. But I think, and I could be making this part up. It was 3 years ago. I think how she explained it was she likes being able to get away. So I've always lived about 2 to 3 hours away from her.
Change of scenery.
Yeah, it's a change of scenery. It's different. You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I was thinking like, well, now I can come to all of your activities and things that you do, or we could split more time and all of that. Because right now we do like a every other weekend type thing, which is not that much time. You know, I'm not saying I'm the world's greatest father for having that schedule, but that's just the way our lives set up. That's what we got right now.
Right.
And so, in 2020 or 2021 when we was looking to move, I was like, yo, this is going to be great. We moved to Raleigh. We're going to be kicking it on the weekends and at night and after school and all of that. She was like, nah, I don't need all of that.
Nah, I'm good on that. Hey, Pops, I don't want you that. Hey, I want you close. I want you that close.
I don't want you that close. You go ahead and do your thing, but I don't want you that close.
Yo, hey, that's funny, man. But I don't even think I don't even think that's something I've ever heard as far as a dad asking their child. Because even before you said it, I thought you were talking about like asking the co-parent how close you should be or whatever. But you asking your daughter that and actually taking her opinion, and like actually doing something with that. I can see how that could probably be like, hey, you don't want me close? Like, but
I do?
Yeah, like what I do to you? But I think even in this situation with you being being in Charlotte, close enough driving distance,
Mm-hmm.
how do you think that affects your relationship with your daughter?
So I think this goes back to your original question about raising a 15-year-old in 2024.
Yeah.
She is very much, when I'm with you, and when I ain't, I ain't.
And that's what I want to hear. Hey, because the teenagers, bro, is really like, hey, I don't really care about you right now. Like,
Yeah. So when I'm with you, we cool, we hanging out, we going to Starbucks, we whatever we doing, we playing family game nights, all of that. But when I get back with my mom, like, and I do call her and check on her and FaceTime all of that stuff, but it'd be real quick because the screen either is pointed to the ceiling or or she in the dark, like just on her phone on TikTok or something like that.
this kid's different now.
Yeah,
man.
and so I'm like, hey, I said, baby, you hear what I said? Did you hear me? Oh, yeah. I'm like, are you even paying attention? I'm like, I'm going to call you back. I'm going to call you back.
Hey,
and so,
getting off the phone with your child is crazy,
Yeah.
but it makes sense.
Yeah,
I guess it makes sense with a teenager now.
Yeah.
It's different, bro.
Or, this is the part that really get me upset. I'll FaceTime her, and then she won't FaceTime me back for like 2 days. I'm like, you don't work.
What do you have going on?
Yeah, I know you at home. You don't drive.
And now you better pick your phone up
So
every
I'm
time
like-
I call you when you teenager.
I'm like, what you doing?
It probably still won't happen.
But I don't pay that bill. Her mama pay the bill, so I don't control it. I think that's a whole nother managing dynamic that we have on what I think that she should be having access to. So like, my daughter was on TikTok before it became TikTok. She's been on that app since like 2013 or something like that.
I didn't know it was out that long.
Back when it was Musical.ly or whatever it was called.
Oh,
like she was
gotcha,
on it
yeah.
back then, and I would hear certain things. I'd be like, you don't need to be listening to that. You need to turn that off. And oddly enough, I had a conversation with her husband, and he was saying the same thing to her, like, yo, your daughter don't need to be listening to that. That's too much. That's too much exposure. Because you ain't no control on TikTok.
Sure ain't.
You can see.
You swipe and everything
you see
pops
everything.
up. People that you don't know at all, it just pops up.
Just everything. And so, when she was with me back in that time, I would try to control some of that stuff. But again, it would become a whole thing.
Yeah.
And so I just be like, you know what? All right. You got it.
Yeah. And I think even in a situation like that, the thing for me now is thinking about when I want to get my daughter a cell phone.
Yeah.
For me, my mom got us one. I think, and my mom and my dad had an agreement to do it as far as getting
from
us
a co-parenting
one.
standpoint.
Within, I think now, I'm not sure, but
hey, mom, dad, fact check them.
yeah, fact check me. But I think like not until like the 10th grade, 10th, 11th grade. But I think at that point we were in football, like we were either
That's
riding with
different.
people, things like that.
That's
so
different.
we were
They need to
moving. We were really never riding the bus.
Yeah.
So it's like,
They
okay,
didn't know where y'all at.
yeah, I need to get y'all a phone. And then I call us a powerhouse high school in football and things like that. And I played
We ain't
quarterback.
never heard of his high school.
Hey, listen here. A lot of people have it. For real, we're a small school. In my area, they know about us. You know what I'm saying?
His area was a
You know what I'm
powerhouse.
saying? I got
Okay.
a state ring. Went to state 3 times. But it is what it is. You feel me? But
He got me. I don't have no state ring. We we won a bunch. I don't have no ring though.
Don't make me go back to glory days, but we was like that. All right? But being like exposed to that life and always moving and people knowing us and going to radio stations and doing different stuff, I guess it made sense.
You need that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I think they waited until like, okay, you need a phone.
Yeah.
Versus like, I just want you to have a phone
Just
to
to
know
have
where you
it.
just to have it.
But you think like back in that time, text you had to pay 25 cents to text. There was no internet on your phone. There was no social
had to
media on
wait
your
till
phone.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, you had to wait till minutes was free and all of that stuff. And so
I ain't had no service in my house. I had to walk to the street.
same. I grew up in the country.
In the sticks.
Yeah, I grew up in the
pitch
sticks.
black. We just standing outside.
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me? Hold on. I'm about to move to the left. Yeah, all types of stuff like that. So
Yeah.
the phone wasn't what it is today, but I still stand on the point. Like I think it's too much access. And so for Harper, who is my 7-year-old,
Yeah, that's a whole nother relationship
Yeah,
because
that-
she's in the house.
Yes.
She's growing up with you and your
Yeah.
wife. So this is now another
another-
relationship
yeah.
you got to cultivate.
Yeah.
On top of having
yeah,
the co-parenting situation.
yeah, and so this is what's been going through my head recently. So I got Reagan, that's co-parenting. I got Harper, who's in the house.
Yep.
And now I got a new baby that's coming. And so how do I manage all three of those relationships? So Reagan don't feel like she getting left out, even though she don't live in the house. Harper's right in the house, and she already know that attention's gonna be diverted towards the baby.
Yes.
So how do we make her feel more included? And then of course, I mean, the baby is the baby, so they automatically don't get attention and all of that.
Right.
But that's also another layer on top of all of this co-parenting stuff.
And then you also still got to make sure your wife feel like she loved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody told me that the week before we went into the hospital. They was like, hey, like you about to have a daughter, I'm going to tell you this one piece of advice. Like, make sure you still loving on your wife.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be giving a lot of attention to your daughter, and your daughter going to be looking in your eyes and all of that stuff. But like, don't pull so much away from your wife that you're only giving it all to your daughter.
Yeah.
And
you got nothing left for your wife.
giving. I was like, I ain't thought of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like, okay, we about to have a daughter. We going to be parenting together, and she going to feel my love through me being such a great parent. Nah, you might need to take this advice, bro.
For real. No, that's great advice. Great advice. I think, even outside of that, just sometimes in marriages, I think folks have kids, and the kids just become the center of attention for everybody.
Yeah.
And then you do that for 18 years, and then once those kids leave,
your tail.
Yeah, then y'all both looking at each other like, yo, who you?
Yeah,
I don't know
18
you
years ago, you ain't look like this.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah,
who is this?
Exactly. So that's
this woman in my house.
Yeah, y'all take that with you. You know.
Yeah, that's right there.
Yeah, that's a dad tip.
yes,
that's a dad
love
tip.
on your wife.
Yeah, but now, man, it's just managing a lot of different relationships. I think what I've learned through all of this is just trying to be consistent in all of those. And it is a lot. And I think, thank you for highlighting it, because I don't think people talk enough about co-parenting relationships and the effect that it has on certain people. I remember one time I was friends with this young lady in college, and she said that she would never date someone with a kid because there's always money leaving the house going to another woman's house. And I was like, yo, and at that time I didn't have no kids.
That's a bar for real.
But I argued her down. I was like, yo, that's so stupid. What are you talking about? And I didn't even have no kids at the time. Or maybe I did. I probably did have a kid at the time, because I argued her down.
That's probably why you argue.
Yeah, I was arguing her down on that. But it does make so much sense. And I think that's another piece of the relationship. Like, every month I send money to my daughter, which is money that could be in my house. But because of a decision that I made 15 years ago, I have to support my child. And so it really is a lot. I think it takes a special person to co-parent.
It take the best dad to do it, man. Yeah. And you're doing it, bro. You're doing it.
Hey, I'm not saying I'm perfect. Yeah,
you're just the best at what you do.
Yeah, I'm just the best
That's
at
all
what
it
I
is,
do.
Man. And then for you, what advice would you give to a young man, older man, whatever, whether it's you know what I'm saying? Because it's some old. And I want you to speak to someone that hasn't done it yet, or something like that could possibly happen too. Like, what advice would you give them if it is like just a situation where, hey, you dealing with somebody, kind of this is something that's a possibility, like trying to stop them before it happens.
Oh, okay.
What is something that you would say to somebody like that, and then we'll get to the other part of it. Well, two questions.
Okay.
What is something you would say to somebody that's not in a situation like this as far as co-parenting yet?
Okay.
And then what is some advice you would give to someone that's in a co-parenting situation?
Man. Yeah, I was coming with these bangers tonight.
When I ask a question, I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah, he asked some good questions, y'all. So I would say, if you're not in the situation and you find yourself interested in a lady who has a kid, I would say don't go in trying to disturb a situation if you're not really serious about this young lady.
Come on now.
So
I feel
because it's a lot of dynamics that the young lady also dealing with too, because just like the man has to deal with the woman and the co-parenting. There's a dude somewhere saying, "Yo, I don't want nobody around my kid."
Yeah.
That was definitely me.
Yeah.
I had to grow. Trust me, y'all.
You can't date nobody.
Yeah, I was like, "Yo, you could date whoever you want, but don't introduce her to my kid. That's my daughter.
That's mine right
She
there.
need to know that I'm her daddy." Yeah, ain't nobody coming in here playing stepdaddy.
Hey, I told Jazz we gonna have a kid, and if we ever break up, you gonna have 2 boyfriends because I'm gonna be in this.
We all over. Hey, what's for dinner? Hey, my man, hey, Jazz, fix him something to drink, man.
We gonna be here.
We all gonna be here. And so I had to grow through that. And so I'm saying, if you're not serious and you know that this lady has a kid, don't even insert yourself into the dynamic if you're not gonna take it serious. And step up and be present. Don't be that kid's father. They don't need another father unless the father not present. But they don't need another father. They just need you to play your role. You know, if you need to help pick up from daycare or practice or whatever, just
do that.
Yeah, just listen out. Look, the woman will tell you what she need, and it's up to you to either get in line or get lost. Okay,
come on now, that's a fact. There. That's a fact. There. I know a lot of you suckers gonna try to. He's simping. Hey, bro, this simping to save you sometimes.
Yeah, it will.
If you want to call it simping, hey, it'll save you. Listen to what that woman say sometimes, bro, because she gonna tell you what she need, and then you won't be able to scramble and trying to figure it out.
Hey man, I was trying to get little homie some basketball shoes, and she ain't say she ain't need my help. She ain't ask you.
She didn't ask you for that.
She didn't say get him some new Jordans because he needed Jordans. All she wanted you to do was pick him up from basketball practice.
And pick up some food. That was it.
Pick up something.
She said pick up Chick-fil-A. You went and went and bought some Jordans. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Pastor said this 2 weeks ago in relation to the Bible. Do whatever he says, okay? So whatever she told you to do, just follow the instructions.
Do that.
That's all. If I ask you to cut the grass, cut the grass. Don't go out and get DoorDash and don't never cut the grass. I ain't asked you to do all of that. Cut the grass. The grass is what's going to help me. So that's my advice to the people who not in the situation, but you may find yourself in the situation.
Yeah, somebody that's in it.
Yeah, now for somebody that's in it, I said this at the top of the podcast. It may not ever get better, y'all. It may not ever get better. But what I will say is do your best to be present for the child. And if that means that you got to go to where that child is. Now, again, I ain't trying to get, if there's restraining orders and all those things against you,
don't go to jail.
Yeah, don't go to
be
jail.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. If there's custody things, all of that.
Yeah.
You know, because it's stupid that I even got to say all of that, but I know how people do. Yeah. If all of that stuff is not a factor, then you may have to find creative ways to be present with your child if you and your co-parent have some issues at play where, you know, you can't get in touch with them. They won't answer the phone. They won't do any of those things. You may have to find some creative ways to do that. And, you know, it may not ever get better, but what I always rested my hat on is that at some point the kid is going to get older and the kid is going to ask, well, you know, how come I ain't seen my daddy? How come I ain't seen my mama?
Yeah.
Like, why?
They going to ask questions.
Yeah. Why aren't they, why haven't I talked to them? Like, whatever happened with that?
Yeah.
And kids ask questions. Kids know, you know, you just got to do the best you can with what you have to try to build that relationship and try to forge that relationship. But, you know, sometimes there are barriers in place, you know. One of the things that I hate about the system is child support and custody are different. So you could be sending your money to a kid and that still doesn't grant you access to the kid.
Yeah.
And so just know that, you know, you got to know what you've gotten yourself into.
Yeah,
talk to some resources, talk to a lawyer, you know, talk to whoever you need to talk to kind of figure all of that out. But I would say definitely try to get a custody agreement in place if you can afford to do that. But also, like I told the last piece of advice, don't get the custody agreement if you're not going to stick to it. Don't say, oh, we're going to do every other weekend or we're going to do every other week.
Messing up.
And then you like, oh, hey, my bad. I'm about to move to New Mexico. So, you know, I'm going to see the baby once a year. Well, You know, don't be surprised when that baby treats you like she see you once a
Like you
year.
see you once a year. That's a fact.
Yeah, so
Because we all become adults at some point. Even for me, I had questions too, but
yeah,
you know, and they got to get answered at some point.
they gotta get
So,
answered. You
yeah,
gotta
for
get
sure,
answered.
man.
So yeah, that would be my advice. You know,
No, that's dope, bro. We appreciate you definitely going. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a tough topic.
it is.
But,
and,
and
I mean, there's
everybody gonna
much
kinda
more
get
that I
into
could
it.
say.
Of course,
but,
there's a whole
you
lot
know,
more, but we
my
only
daughter's
got-
15, so she may hear this. So I don't want to say nothing.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's
Exactly.
crazy.
Nah, facts, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, all of those
Absolutely.
things. Share. Do all of those things. And keep being the best dad that you can be.
That's it.
Don't try to be nobody else type of dad.
Nah.
Be the best dad that you can be.
Yeah. Until next time, y'all.
Bye.
Peace.